Zainab Tarouti, a student of mechanical engineering at King Fahd University of Petroleum and Minerals, to introduce to you the person whose vision had a significant impact on the recent success of KFUPM. Please join me in warmly welcoming the President of King Fahd University of Petroleum and Minerals, Dr. Mohammed Saggaf, for his opening remarks.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين، والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. الدكتور خالد العيسى, الدكتور محمد القروان, our esteemed guests from around the globe, I'd like to welcome you to the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, to Dhahran, to KFUPM, to the first Saudi Conference on Nuclear Power Engineering. It gives me great pleasure and gratitude that you have come and you are participating in this illustrious conference, and one that we hope will be the beginning of a strong engagement of this university and this country in the peaceful applications of nuclear engineering for the purposes of power. I'd like to talk in my opening speech about three things. The first of which is the evolution of the energy basket. Humanity at large faces a lot of challenges right now and in the future, in terms of pollution, in terms of access to energy, and in terms of global climate change. And therefore, the basket of energy from which we derive power has to evolve, and it has been evolving to include many things. Conventional hydrocarbon resources, solar in its various flavors, from concentrated to PV to others, wind, hydrogen, and of course nuclear power, as it represents a fantastic and affordable means of producing energy that, if done properly, complements other sources in the basket, especially that it has properties of being a fantastic base load rather than transient and intermittent like other renewables, and of course it has its challenges, and hence we are coming together today and during this conference to discuss these challenges. How do you dispose of nuclear waste? How to optimize the operation and hydraulics of the nuclear power plant, and so on and so forth. How to ensure the safe operation of nuclear power plants. But we must all realize that nuclear power is here. In our region it is coming a bit late, but it is here. It is to be used for peaceful applications of generating power. It is to be used to avail affordable energy that has certain advantageous characteristics in terms of how much it costs, and that it requires at the same time high levels of technology, high levels of competence, high levels of talent, and high levels of integration of discipline to an extent that perhaps is greater than any other source of energy. So my first point, nuclear power is here and we are in it. KFUPM is in it big time with its partners, because it is part of the future of humanity and therefore part of the future of Saudi Arabia. The second point I'd like to make is that of research. We are going to talk about research in this conference a lot, and how do you research many of the aspects of nuclear power engineering. And research at KFUPM is very important, but it is very important from a primary point of view, the objective of research. We believe at KFUPM that the primary driver and objective of research cannot be the glory of the researcher or the glory of the institution or patents and publications and citations. All of that comes along, of course, it is good, but the primary objective of research has to be making an impact on humanity, improving the human condition, ensuring that societies reap the benefit of this research, rather than it is published and viewed and counted by Scopus and others and then never sees the light of day. And so every research project, no matter whether it's abstract, pure, applied, has to have in the end the intention that it will result in 1 year or in 50 years, will result in an apparatus, an equipment, a chemical, a process that would ensure that humanity at large reaps that benefit. Otherwise, it is irrelevant research and it makes no sense for us to engage in it. And it isn't just the product of research that has to serve humanity, it is also the manner by which you conduct research is important. We believe in research for humanity. Research for humanity, not just in terms of the products of research have to serve humanity, as I mentioned, but how you pursue it. We must reach out to societies, to countries, to centers of excellence, to universities around the globe, especially those who we deem are economically disadvantaged relative to us, and ensure that we help each other, we help them, and we help each other in ensuring that research activates these centers of excellence such that it can make an impact on societies in the short term, even before the outcome of research comes along. And this is very high on our agenda, being able to make an impact in research in terms of products and in terms of the manner by which research is conducted, that it is indeed research for humanity. And the third point I'd like to make, and perhaps it's slightly longer than the other ones, is the transformation that KFUPM has been undergoing over the past 3.5 years since it was spun off into an independent institution, and therefore gained a substantial amount of flexibility and agility, and it is capitalizing on this flexibility and agility. Over the past 3 years, this university has created 92 new programs. 92, you are not hearing this wrong, 92 new programs. Some of them are new departments and new programs such as environmental science and engineering, material science and engineering, mining science and engineering, which we inaugurated just yesterday with the Minister of Industry and Mineral Resources, integrated electrical engineering and physics, smart and sustainable cities, integrated design, and so on and so forth. And some of them are focus areas that are multidisciplinary in nature and span multiple departments, and we have a large number. It will come later, it's okay. And it spans a large number of disciplines, from cybersecurity and blockchain to artificial intelligence to quantum computing to hydrogen mobility to, of course, nuclear power engineering and other things such as visual computing, thermal systems, non-metallic materials, and so on. And that should pave the way towards generating a fantastic group of graduates who are able to build the sectors of tomorrow. And as you have heard from the titles of these programs, all of them are designed to ensure that the future economies are populated with the right talent who are able to nourish new sectors, create them, and make sure they satisfy their objectives. And some of these programs are graduate master's degrees, especially the ones linked to the industry, including many of the topics I mentioned, and including nuclear power engineering at the graduate level as well, especially that this program has the objective of converting generic professionals into ones who are able to participate in the industry of nuclear power. So 92 programs. KFUPM has focused since the inception of its transformation on artificial intelligence. We believe that AI to this generation is what mathematics was to our generation, the old generation. You wouldn't think in my generation that you would become a mechanical engineer or a nuclear engineer or any scientist or even in finance without learning calculus and the principles of mathematics and so on. And we believe you cannot be an effective member of the workforce nowadays if you haven't fully grasped artificial intelligence. Not only fully grasped it, if you haven't built your discipline on top of a foundation of AI. It is not something that you can learn after you graduate or at the senior level or as an extracurricular activity. You have to fully be competent in AI and then build mechanical engineering on top of it. And this is what we have done. We created the AI plus X platform, meaning you first learn AI through multiple courses in advanced Python for AI and machine learning, big data and data science, business and entrepreneurship, and so on. And then you learn your discipline at KFUB. We are very keen on changing the way academic material is delivered to the students. We no longer want distinguished professors to come and spend an entire hour lecturing and sending fantastic material in perhaps the most eloquent manner, only for the students to retain 0 out of this lecture. And that is what happens. Studies upon studies have shown that dry lecturing results in retention by the students as low as 5% and even lower. And so it isn't important what you send, it isn't important what is delivered. What is important is what the student retains. And therefore we are moving away from classical lecturing into new forms of active and creative learning, flipping the classroom so students read the material before coming to class and use the class time for debates and discussions. And only by doing that you can increase retention to 70, 80 and even 100% if the student himself or herself explains the material. So, and then diversity is critical at KFUBM. We have faculty members and students from over 50 countries at KFUBM, from over 50 countries. But this university, in its 60-year history, has been a men-only university, and that also has changed as part of the transformation of KFUPM. And KFUPM opened its doors for faculty members, for graduate and undergraduate students, and for everybody. Not only male, but female, 3 years ago. And currently, this university has the distinct honor of having the highest intake of females in engineering anywhere in the world. The highest intake of females in engineering anywhere in the world. 50% in engineering, and you can hardly find a university even in the most advanced economies that can come close to this. The US is only on average 17%, and it's always 50% overall population, but engineering is usually very low. It's as low as 8% in some universities. And this is not something forced, it's not a quota. It is just making sure we have the right environment, the right disciplines, the right structure, and being attractive to both male and female students. And a final part of our transformation, and one that I am and the entire administration of the university are keen on, is to demolish. And it might seem like a very destructive word, this demolish. And it can be, but it can also be positive. And what we want to demolish are the boundaries and the barriers between disciplines, the barriers between science and engineering. As I have told you, we have material science and engineering, environmental science and engineering, mining science. There is no boundary between science and engineering. There should not be any boundary between disciplines, between math and computer science, or chemical engineering and chemistry, or material and mechanical and electrical, and so on. And so we are on a mission to demolish all of these boundaries, to ensure that the university works together across disciplines, to encourage departments to recruit faculty members from outside their discipline, to encourage joint appointments, even to the point that we restructure the entire university to put the old foes together, math with computer in the College of Computing and Mathematics, and physics with engineering. So the physics of flight is with the engineering of flight, and chemistry with chemical engineering, and bioengineering, and so on. And it is very important that we pursue this journey, because it is only through the intersection of disciplines that you can create true knowledge. Only through the intersection of disciplines that you really can create new knowledge. And so I wanted to highlight these three things, that the basket of energy has to evolve, and for sure it should and it will have nuclear power as part of it for peaceful applications. We are very keen on doing this to the extent that we are creating a new research center called the Interdisciplinary Research Center in Industrial Nuclear Energy, and this will be the first such center at the university. We are very excited about it, and we are excited that you're joining us.
Because I have 50 slides. I hope it not be panicked. It's not 50, don't worry. and task. Were screened by at least 2 reviewers. The shortlisted submission for awards were then meticulously reviewed by 5 world-renowned nuclear experts. I am also happy to share with you that SCOPE conference proceedings will be indexed by Scopus in a Springer book. This is to enhance their visibility and impact. In addition, a selected number of papers will be expanded and offer the opportunity to be submitted to the conference special issue in the Arabian Journal for Science and Engineering, AJSE, Springer Nature, which has an impact factor of 2.9. So, last but not least, following the theme of this conference, I wish you all a productive and successful conference. Let's build together. Before we end, as Dr. Sagaf mentioned, we are announcing today the launch and the establishment of our nuclear center, and it is really gives me my immense pleasure as the Vice President of Research and Innovation to announce the recent addition to our 20 research centers portfolio, the establishment of the Interdisciplinary Research Center for Industrial Nuclear Energy. The research center is envisioned to support the Saudi Peaceful Nuclear Program and is aspired to be a promising platform to foster a world-class peaceful nuclear research and innovation. At the end, let's build together, let's dream big and accomplish. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Ali Sheikhi. To develop the nuclear sector, King Fahd University of Petroleum and Minerals is undertaking many initiatives. KFPM has established 2 programs: the undergraduate concentration program, which is a minor in nuclear power engineering, and the professional master's program, which is a 1-year-long master in nuclear engineering. And in that endeavor, let's take a look to a video that highlights these initiatives.
Nuclear energy is the densest form of energy we possess. It is the most precious gift that we have, which brings significant benefits for the betterment of humanity. As a part of nuclear initiatives, we have left no stone unturned to implement excellent programs at King Fahd University of Petroleum and Minerals that could cater to diverse backgrounds.
Nuclear Power Engineering program at KFUPM completely changed my personal and professional approach. The program is so enriching that it helps you understand and explore the nuclear field in a profound way.
Apart from wonderfully designed nuclear power engineering courses, we do an 8-week summer training program, which is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity for me. I could never imagine standing in front of nuclear power plant and witnessing the great engineering.
KFUPM has a state-of-art simulation programs where students can simulate real-time different operating conditions in nuclear power plants. This laboratory has also enabled students to do cutting-edge nuclear research.
Thanks to these facilities, in just 1 year, we were able to publish more than 20 original research articles. We also participated in an international nuclear conference and won 2 Best Paper Awards.
Winning awards at an arena is something surreal. It honestly would not have been possible without this conducive environment that we were put on. I felt extremely proud to have represented both KFUPM and, more importantly, my kingdom in winning this award.
Continuing the great success of nuclear initiatives at KFUPM, recently we have started a master's program in nuclear engineering.
I'm honored to be a student in the MX Nuclear Engineering program. One day, I will be proud to be part of the history, part of the nuclear energy industry in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. The MX program is opening for us the prospect for a future with a clean source of electricity. We promise to learn about the nuclear field to the best of our capabilities and serve our beloved kingdom.
We welcome you all to come and join us in these incredible endeavors and be part of history, because we dream big and accomplish.
Nuclear energy is the densest form of energy we possess. It is the most precious gift that we have, which brings significant benefits for the betterment of humanity. As a part of nuclear initiatives, we have left no stone unturned to implement excellent programs at King Fahd University of Petroleum and Minerals that could cater to diverse backgrounds.
Nuclear Power Engineering program at KFUPM completely changed my personal and professional approach. The program is
السلام عليكم ورحمة الله. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله. أعتذر راح تكون كلمتي بالعربي لأني أنا ريجليتر، فلازم أتكلم أكثر بالعربي، والكلام موجه للجامعة وطلابها والمحيط بها من صناعة. الموجودين مشاركين اليوم أكثر من تشريف وتكريم جهات من الدولة، من الحكومة اللي هي وزارة الطاقة، مدينة الملك عبد الله، أيضا شركة دوهين وهي شركة نووية حكومية مدينة الملك عبد الله، وبالتأكيد هيئة الرقابة النووية والإشعاعية. موضوع التقنية النووية في المملكة قد يظهر للبعض أنه حديث، الحقيقة هو بقدم الخمسينات، وخاصة في هذه المنطقة من المملكة كان في تطبيقات للتقنية النووية بشكل يعني ملفت ومثير، وكان يتطلب الحقيقة جهود أكبر في الالتفاف حوله من بناء معرفة وأيضا بناء معايير أمان أكبر. أتوقع أن مشاريع الطاقة النووية سواء كانت في الباور ولا في النان باور سايت تحتاج إلى جهود وتكاتف بين الجهات المختلفة ومنها الجامعات. وجودنا اليوم وجود كشركاء أكثر منه الحقيقة كرعاة. الرعاية هذا شأن باي ديفولت، ما هو موضوع كبير بقدر ما هو أن الشراكة تتم وأن العلاقة التكاملية تتحقق. أتصور هذا هو البعد اللي نسعى له ونطمح له. الشأن الرقابي لأول مرة يعني يصبح بشكل ملفت في المملكة مستقل مرتبط بمجلس الوزراء الهيئة، ولها أكثر من 4 سنوات من نشأة، وأول أعمال يعني على مستوى النيوكلير باور باشرتها اللي هي محطة الطاقة النووية الأولى في المملكة. المحطة ليست بعيدة من هنا، لكنها يعني تخطو خطوات حثيثة وأيضا باهتمام كبير من أعلى قيادات الدولة. الآن المحطة تم اختيار موقعها لاعتبارات عديدة وتم ترخيص هذا الموقع، وأعتقد أن هذه الخطوات يعني تحفز إلى النظر حتى في مجالات في المرافق النووية الأخرى. المرفق الأول وهو الصغير ولكن الأول في المملكة اللي هو في مدينة الملك عبد العزيز للعلوم والتقنية. هناك مفاعل للأبحاث منتهي لفترة يستكمل الجوانب النووية والجوانب الرقابية لأنها تتطلب التزامات دولية يجب تحقيقها قبل البدء في استكمال التنفيذ. هذه المنشآت وهذه المرافق وهذه البرامج على المستوى الوطني بالتأكيد أنها مهمة، ولكن بالتأكيد لن تكون كافية في فترة وجيزة. العالم الآن يواجه مشكلة كبيرة في وجود الخبرات في التقنية النووية، خاصة بعد العودة والنمو الهائل للتقنية في مجال الطاقة. حولنا من المشاريع الكبيرة واللي يعرفها البعض محطة الطاقة النووية اللي في الإمارات، يعمل منها 3 مفاعلات والرابعة على وشك، وهي من أكبر محطات في العالم أو في المنطقة على الأقل. محطة نووية في مصر، المحطة النووية في تركيا، وهي العام القادم ستبدأ أول أعمال مفاعلاتها، والمحطة اللي في بنغلاديش. هذه كلها الحقيقة هذا الانفيجن أو هذا أنا أسميه الغزو النووي الإيجابي هو الحقيقة ينوع مصادر الطاقة في المنطقة وفي المملكة بوجه الخصوص. هي أحد الجهات اللي راح تتبنى هذا الخيار. هو خيار ليس بديل طاقة فقط، هو خيار استراتيجي لبناء قدرات الدول. الدول اللي تنهج نهج الطاقة النووية هي دول تصبح متقدمة على المدى المتوسط، حتى في مجالات الإدارة، في مجالات التمويل، في مجالات الصناعة، في مجالات الخدمات، والشواهد العالمية لها كثير. تنمو الدول بتبنيها لبرامج تقنية متقدمة، منها برامج الطاقة النووية. الحقيقة أوجه إلى أن هذه البرامج حتى تؤتي أكلها بأفضل صورة ممكنة لابد أن يكون لها رعاية من الجهات الحكومية بشكل أكبر فيما يتعلق بالأمان. وأكبر تحديات الأمان هي الاعتماد على المعرفة فقط. المعرفة لا شك بأهميتها، ولكن مركبات الرقابة يعني تعتمد على المعرفة الدقيقة بالإجراءات الصحيحة لتحقيق أعلى مستوى للأمان، أيضا القوانين اللازمة، وفي بعض الأحيان جوانب حتى تكون سياسية. حنا نتكلم عن الطاقة النووية نتكلم في الجانب التقني، لكن هناك تحديات أخرى منها عدم الانتشار، وهذه التحديات تواجه العالم كله وتحتاج إلى التفاتة في جانبها التقني والأدوات اللي ممكن تساعد في متابعة ورصد موضوع منع انتشار، التأكد من سلمية البرامج النووية. من التخصصات اللي هي مطلوبة في الجانب غير الهندسي، واعتقد انها المملكة تواجه يعني شح كبير فيها، اللي هو مجال الفيزا الصحية، ولا أقصد الفيزا الطبية. الفيزا الصحية نحتاجها ليس بالجهاز الرقابي، وليس في شركة وهين النووية، وليس في مدينة الملك عبد الله، وليس في وزارة الطاقة فقط، نحتاجها في كل المجالات. في الممارسات الطبية لا يوجد من التخصصات المعرفية ما يخدم هذا الجانب بصورة تجعل المستوى المعرفي في حده المناسب حتى يتم بناء الجوانب الرقابية الأخرى. لا أريد أن أطيل، لكن أؤكد أن وجودنا حنا في هذا المؤتمر، وأعتقد أن المؤتمر الثاني في السنوات القليلة الماضية، وهو مؤتمر مميز لأنه يشد الأنظار لجانب مهم في التخصص الأكاديمي في البحث والتطوير، ويهمني كريجوليتر أن يكون في الجوانب الأخرى فيما يتعلق بالرقابة. شكرا لكم وأتمنى لكم مؤتمر ناجح.
Thank you, Dr. Laisa, for sharing your knowledge with us today. It's my distinct honor to welcome back one of the first people who started the nuclear initiatives at Saudi Arabia. He is the project and engineering management supervisor at King Abdullah City for Atomic and Renewable Energy. Please join me in welcoming Dr. Mohammed Garwan.
Assalamu alaikum. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Walhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Wassalatu wassalam ala Rasulih al-Amin. Wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. I am thrilled twice today. One time for being back to KFUPM after quite some time, because this is the place where I spent the big chunk of my life as a student and as a faculty member, and in many other different capacities. And the second point is, I am also thrilled and honored and pleased to be part of this first of a kind event in Saudi Arabia, talking about nuclear power and making sure that efforts are collectively gathered to make a dent in this area in Saudi Arabia. On the onset of this event, great thanks goes to KFUPM at large and to those who put the effort. And you saw the timeline that Dr. Ali presented here, when they have started and what they have done and what statistics they have already generated about this conference. One more thing, I am honored to talk to you here today on behalf of Prince Mamdouh bin Saud Al Saud, our president at KCARE. He's giving you his salam and best wishes. This conference, as I mentioned, is representative, and it is a sprouting effort that is meant to grow in depth and in coverage as time goes, and we will all be part for as much as we can to support it. Introducing nuclear power for the first time in any country is a formidable task. It has its own challenges, as Dr. Al-Isa mentioned, but one of the most important of those challenges is the human capacity development in any country, let alone country introducing nuclear power for the first time, let alone at a time when nuclear power is booming around the world. Saudi Arabia, as a newcomer, has everything in place. And again, Dr. Isa told you that the license for the first site of the nuclear plant has already been issued. We have a regulator up and running. We have other legal framework put in place. We have a national position statement that has been announced. And we have huge efforts put in different fronts, all run and orchestrated and looked after by the Ministry of Energy, as you all know. KCARE has put a lot of these efforts. If I mention, I should tell you the creation of the commercial arm that will do the business in nuclear power, namely creation of the Saudi Nuclear Energy Holding Company and the creation of its subsidiary, the Duhain Nuclear Energy Holding nuclear energy company. The CEOs of both of these companies are with us here. And the later one will be the owner and operator of the first nuclear power plant in Saudi Arabia. Introducing nuclear power for the first time in any country goes through 3 phases. The first phase is to make sure we have a conscious decision made and a clear national position announced and the right framework, legal framework for introducing nuclear power. And we already have all of that. The second phase is to work on the national nuclear infrastructure, which includes a lot of things. I'm not going to mention them because I talked to them about them yesterday in my workshop. But the second phase is marked by a clear milestone, which is the country ready to invite bidding for building the first nuclear power station or not? And I assure you that this has already happened. March 22, we have already flown out a complete bid invitation specification to the technology vendors. We have been answering their questions and communicating with them all over the past a little over a year, and we are expecting input and proposals from them towards the end of this year. So definitely that milestone have been accomplished, and we are waiting for proposals. MashaAllah, Dr. Sagaf mentioned a lot of qualities that nuclear energy brings about, talking about nuclear energy being the most reliable base load. Base load means the backbone that generates electricity around the clock with the highest capacity factor. Nuclear energy also brings about economic stability in the price of electricity. By the time you build a reactor and you commission it, you have already paid somewhere between 65 to 70% of all the energy, all the electricity that you will sell and you will generate out of this reactor for its lifetime, where its lifetime is 60 years or more. The remaining percentage of the cost is the operation and maintenance and the fuel. And if we separate the fuel from operation and maintenance, it is less than 15%. And if we separate the manufacturing processes from the fuel in terms of enrichment, fuel fabrication and bundling, there remains only the 5% of the uranium that you need to run a reactor. Fluctuation in uranium price does not result in fluctuation of the electricity and the cost of electricity you produce from a nuclear reactor. So if you build a nuclear reactor, you are anchoring the price of electricity from that reactor for the next 60 years with the minimum fluctuation. That's why introducing nuclear power is an economic coupling factor and stabilizing factor for power generation in any country. In addition to the benefits they have heard from Dr. Al-Isa about the adjacent areas that are developed as a byproduct of introducing nuclear power. Ladies and gentlemen, KACARE's participation and in this conference as a partner and as a advocate is part of its mission. Its mission goes back to what I mentioned before, the most difficult challenge in introducing nuclear power, which is the human capacity development. In addition to that, technology localization is another chunk of KCARE's mission. And thirdly, and as also mentioned by Dr. Al-Isa this morning, management of radioactive waste in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia is part of the mission of KCARE. And in all of these areas, KCARE is open for cooperation and encouragement and calling for help. In this conference, you will see more than 20 papers from KCARE employees and more papers from KCARE affiliates in other institutions, basically the universities, all talking about these areas that are part of KCARE mandate. KCARE is entrusted to look after the development of the human capacity for the energy ecosystem, not only in nuclear, but in renewable and in the hydrocarbon also. This is a mandate declared and announced by His Royal Highness Prince Abdulaziz bin Salman, and we are working with the whole ecosystem to ensure that we fulfill this mandate. As mentioned before, technology localization is very important. We are after research and development, but as Dr. Sagaf said, it has to be research and development for a mission. It should be a mission-oriented research and development. It's something that results in the betterment of our environment, betterment of our life, betterment of our economic situation, and betterment and localization of everything we do here in Saudi Arabia. And we have to ensure that whatever we localize it in a sustainable manner. Ladies and gentlemen, I mentioned before that the energy ecosystem is orchestrated by the Ministry of Energy, and this system, the energy ecosystem, has never been in a situation like it is today. It is today in a very unprecedented state of effectiveness, cohesion, and growth. This is by the blessing of Allah, of course, but it would have never happened without the leadership and wisdom and the diligent follow-up of His Royal Highness Prince Abdulaziz bin Salman Al Saud, the Minister of Energy. The whole system, the whole energy ecosystem is really not walking, but marching sustainably to contribute to the vision of Saudi 2030. And it is really working hard to fulfill the ambitions and directives set forth by our leadership, by King Salman, Hafidhullah, and by Prince Mohammed bin Salman, Hafidhumullah Jami'an. With this, I ask you to enjoy the conference and to have a nice stay in Dhahran for those coming outside of Dhahran. And if you need a mutawif in Dhahran, I can help. Shukran lakum, assalamu alaikum.
Thank you, Dr. Qarwan. To honor our strategic partner and diamond sponsor, we would like to invite to the stage Dr. Mohammed Sagaf. Please welcome to the stage the representative of our strategic partner from the Ministry of Energy. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage the representative of our diamond sponsor from the Nuclear and Radiological Regulatory Commission. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage the representative of our diamond sponsor from the King Abdullah City for Atomic and Renewable Energy.
ناخذ صورة مع الجمهور. جروب فوتو.
Now we'll have a group photo with the audience.
Finally, we would like to invite our esteemed President and distinguished guest for a short tour around the exhibition area, and thank you for listening.
أكثر ذكرى صعبة في التاريخ. يعطيك العافية.